Algebra I, Sensei Learning System, Lesson 20. We want to look at set notation, graphing on a number line, and interval notation. This right here with x on the left side is set notation, and then your inequality and your number. So when you have x on the left side, then inequality, the number, you have set notation. So the graph of this right here, x being less than 3, we put a whole point, close point at 3. Let's put at 3, close point, and we go to the left. These are all the numbers including 3 and to the left of 3. X being strictly less than 3 with no equal sign underneath is all the numbers to the left of 3 but not including 3. X being greater than or equal to 3 are all the numbers from 3 and to the right of 3. So all the numbers 3 including all the numbers to the right. The interval notation for these would be this. Since to the left it's going on to the negative side, that'll be negative infinity, comma, and then on the right it's ending at 3. And since it's at exactly including 3, we'll put a bracket. This one here is going to the left forever on the number line, which is negative infinity. But to the right, it does not include 3, so we'll use a parenthesis. This graph right here, to the left, actually ends at 3, but includes it. But to the right, it keeps going down the number line in the positive direction, so that'll be positive infinity, parenthesis. So we want all the forms here. Right now we're given set notation, so this is set notation. And we want to do the graph notation first. So I'll put an open circle at 3 since there's no equal sign. And this is greater than, so it'll go to the right. So this is the graph notation. Now the interval notation will be, to the left will be 3 with an open parenthesis, means it's not included. And to the right will be positive infinity with a parenthesis. And so this is our interval notation. Here, number 2. Here we'll be at negative 5, including negative 5. So I'm going to close the circle on negative 5. And x will be less than negative 5, so this will go to the left. Okay, and that was the graphing notation. Okay, interval notation, to the left it'll be negative infinity, and to the right it'll go only as far as negative 5, including negative 5, so we'll put a bracket. X less than 0. On the number line, here's 0 right here, and we'll put an open circle because we're not including 0, and we're going to the left. So we'll put an arrow here going to the left. So that's the graph for it. Now, to the left, we're going to negative infinity, so we'll put negative infinity here on the left. On the right, we're going to 0, but it's not included, so I'll put a parenthesis. Here we're starting off with the graphic. So the graph here, graphing notation. And this will be the same thing as saying, to the right, we're going to negative 2, not including it, so parenthesis. And to the left, negative 2, not including. But to the right, we're going to positive infinity. And this is your interval notation. Now, the set notation for this would be x first, and since it's going to the right, this will be a greater than sign, no line here, for negative 2. And that's it. And that's your set notation. So for here, this will be negative infinity to the left, but 4 to the right, and it will include 4, so I'll put a bracket. For the set notation, this will be x. Since it's going to the left, that'll be less than. Okay, and it'll also include the 4, so we'll put an equal sign there, and then the 4. Okay, here's negative 7. So to the left, negative infinity, and to the right, negative 7. But it will not include negative 7. That is a negative there. So we'll put a parenthesis. So for set notation, we have x, and this is to the left, so this will be a less than, and there's no equal sign. and then we'll have negative 7. Okay, here we have the interval notation, and we have negative infinity. So this will be a graph that's at 5, that'll include 5, so I'll put a little dot, and negative infinity says we go to the left. The set notation for this will be x first, and then since it's to the left, this will be less than, and it includes 5, so it'll be equal than 5. This problem right here, the graph of this will be 5 here, and open at 5, but continuing to the right here, on forever. So open circle does not include 5. The set notation for this will be x, and since this is going to the right, this will be greater than, and there does not include 5, so it'll stay greater than, and there's 5. For this one, this will be in negative infinity, so this is going to the left. There's an open circle on negative 4 because it's not included. Okay, so that's your graph. Now, furthermore, this will be x, and since it's going to the left, we'll make a less than sign, and then negative 4 here. No equal sign because it's not closed. We're not including negative 4. Okay. Now, the problem with this is that x is not on the right side. Oh, sorry, the left side, should I say. So we got to flip this over first. So this becomes x is less than 4. Okay, and now we can go ahead and start working on it. X is less than 4, so we'll have 4 here, and less than goes to the left, and it's open. That'll also be negative infinity to 4 with a parenthesis, because it does not include 4. Again, x is on the right. We always solve these with x on the left, so we're going to change this to x is greater than negative 5. And then we can put a open circle on negative 5, and this is greater than, so it'll go to the right. Furthermore, the interval notation for this will be negative 5, not included, so we put a parenthesis, and then to the right, positive infinity. Again, x is on the right side, so we're going to switch it, and it becomes x less than or equal to 10. Okay, so on the number line, this will be at 10, but it'll include 10, and less than goes to the left. Okay, so less than goes to the left. Furthermore, this will be negative infinity on the left, and then 10 to the right, including 10, so we'll put a bracket. Okay, here's some special cases. The graph of this, negative 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 5, would be a line segment that is closed on both ends, starting at negative 1, ending at 5. So it's all the values between negative 1 and 5, including negative 1 and 5. Now, the interval notation for this would be bracket, negative 1 to the left, and 5, bracket, to the right. So it includes negative 1 and 5. So all the numbers in between. The graph for this one would be a line segment closed at negative 7, but open at 10, because we have an equal sign here for closure and a non-equal sign here for openness. So it includes negative 7, but doesn't include 10. And this is your graph. Now, the interval notation for this would be closed at negative 7, and then at 10, oops, that's an infinity, at 10, this will be open. So all the numbers between negative 7 and 10, and only including negative 7. Okay, here we have several inequalities. We have x is less than negative 2, so the graph of that will be open at negative 2, and it'll be to the left. The graph of this one will be open at 5, but this is greater, so this will be to the right. Now, interval notation for this will be negative infinity to negative 2 with a parenthesis. And this one right here would be, to the left would be 5, and to the right, positive infinity. And we would have to unionize these guys, or put a union between them. Okay, 16. We have x is less than 7, so the graph of that will be at 7, closed, and the graph will go to the left. This part right here, this is closed at 10, but x is greater than 10, so this will go to the right. Okay, the interval notation for this will be negative infinity to the left, but 7 to the right, and it'll include 7, so we'll close it there. This part right here to the left will be closed at 10, but positive infinity on the right, and then we put a union between those two.